Good afternoon, members of Parliament, support staff, members of the media, radio listeners, TV viewers. Welcome to this public meeting of Wednesday, September 11, 2013. This public meeting was opened earlier this afternoon and adjourned immediately after the opening. I want to continue with that meeting as it opens right now by asking the members to stand for a minute of silence. But before we do that, I've established a quorum of 12 persons present. Thank you. Are there any notifications? MP Leroy de Weaver?
No notifications, Madam Chair, but I just wanted to make a question before we continue with the meeting.
Public meeting.
Yes, it's a public meeting, MP
Oh,
de
I'm
Weaver.
sorry. On the agenda item, so we would save time, could you provide us with a copy of the resignation of the good gentleman, Samuel? Then these documents will be complete, and then we can move right on. Because this is one observation of mine, quickly.
As a point of, I believe it's part of the package. If not,
it's not.
A copy. Okay, then a
It's
copy will
not.
be made in the meantime.
Thank you.
Then MP Johan Leonard.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And once more, good afternoon to Madam Chair, to my colleagues, to those in the Tribune, to the press, to radio listeners, online, televiewers. Pleasant good afternoon as we continue with this plenary session this afternoon. Before we go over to the meeting, I would want to make use of this opportunity, Madam Chair, to congratulate Madam Chair and also my fellow colleagues for a job well done during the closing and opening ceremonies on Monday and Tuesday. I also would like to make use of this opportunity to congratulate Madam Chair, the President, for awarding the first President of Parliament award. And it was so fortunate and so wonderful that it went to one of our own, one of the youth of St. Martin. So I think that was a very noble and tremendous opportunity to showcase our youth. And I think, Madam Chair, you have done well. You have made a good decision, and I would like to thank you on behalf of my colleagues and myself, and especially the United People's Party, for a job well done. And also, I would want to make use of this opportunity to wish all of us wisdom and health as we continue to discuss matters on behalf of the people of St. Martin. So I thank you, Madam Chair, for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MP Mr. Johan Leonard, for those words. MP Jules James and an MP Louis Laveis.
Again, good afternoon. Thank you, Madam President. I stand to let you know that Dr. Ruth will be coming, but she'll be a little bit late. But I also wanted to commend and thank you because we certainly needed replacement chairs here, and we have these replacement chairs, and I really want to thank you for that decision and having these replacement chairs. Thank you kindly.
Thank you, MP Mr. Jules James. MP Louis Laveis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, too, Madam Chair, think that the decision taken to recognize our young people notes recognition. However, I want to more thank you from a non-political angle, but from a realistic angle. Thank you for representing Parliament on the decision that Parliament made to recognize our young people. And having said that, I want to express the thought that it should be something that should be continued no matter who the visitor is. It is a decision of Parliament. So, congrats.
Thank you, MP Laveis. MP Dr. George Richardson.
Very short and succinct, Madam Chair Lady. I think I am the appropriate person to thank you for these chairs here because I had a very defective chair. So I thank you very much.
Thank you, MP Dr. Lloyd Richardson. Any other announcements? I thank the members of parliament for their kind words of support, but just to make it clear, one, I'll start with the latter. Those chairs were done in order based on what we do every year in terms of making sure that everything works in parliament. And so I have to thank the staff of the CRIFI for making sure that everything was done on time. And with regards to the award, indeed, the intention and purpose, sole purpose, is to do it as a yearly event, so regardless of who represents the people of St. Martin from this chair. Thank you very much.
Madam,
MP, Mr. Roy Marlin.
Madam Chair, Lady, just with reference to the award, I would like to see, as a member of parliament, the award laid down in a policy approved by parliament, so that in the future when someone is being awarded, people can know how they come into consideration, et cetera, et cetera. I think while the idea of the award is to be applauded, and I appreciate it, but it should be laid down in a policy document, how the selection takes place. Does it take place by members of parliament, or maybe the procedure, et cetera, so that people can know how to apply for the award, et cetera. Thank you.
Thank you, MP, Mr. Roy Marlin. Just again, for information's sake, that document was presented to everyone, but I do take note to everyone and discuss in the presidium, but I do take note of it. I think we should bring it and let Parliament in a public session say, you know, this is what it's going to be. Thank you. MP Laveis again?
No, Madam Chair, I just wanted to second the proposal by Member of Parliament Roy Marlin, because I think really we need to make sure that it is structured properly and that the public knows. So good point, good observation, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP Laveis. MP Petrus Leroy de Weaver.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I would wish that we would just proceed, because in reviewing the documents that are here, just so the rest of the other members of Parliament are aware, in the Incocomo Sticken, the copy of the letter is there, but it's not part of the documents that we were given just now to peruse. So if you would look into the incoming documents, a copy of the resignation letter is there. Thank you.
Thank you, MP De Weaver. That point is also taken. The only reason that wasn't part of the copy is because it's not part of the Holos River of MP Marlin, W. V. Marlin. Thank you very much for those notifications. We have 4 agenda points for this public meeting. The first is the list of incoming documents, ingekomen stukken. The second is the approval of the credentials of Mr. William V. Marlin, goedkeuring geloofsbrief van de heer William V. Marlin. The third agenda point is instelling en samenstelling vaste en bijzondere commissies van de Staten, installation and composition of the standing and special committees of Parliament. And the fourth and last agenda point is the installation and composition of the committees of the Latin American Parliament, instelling en samenstelling commissies van Parlatino. We start with agenda point 1. All members received the list of incoming documents and the proposals for further handling. It's a list comprising about 34 pages, in it, which is additionally 2 pages that was sent after. I have to take note here and let it be noted to the CRIFI that on the last page, where it ended on September 5th, and on the second document that everyone received, should have been listed the incoming documents of Mr. William V. Marlin. So I just want to make that clear. That was an omission and is not on the list ingekomen stukken, and that should be part of the list ingekomen stukken. As listed under incoming document number 876, dated September the 4th. I will now proceed. Any speakers for this list. Can we proceed with the for, self, and off handling as proposed? MP George Panderflat.
Thank you, Madam Chair Lady, and good afternoon. Madam Chair Lady, just one small observation. I was trying to find out exactly what the abbreviation meant, because at the bottom of the list, I think it's 32 pages, I think it is, that we received. And on page 13, it states the 15th of May 2013, incoming piece 633. And it says, letter on behalf of the concerned citizens of St. Martin to call for new elections in accordance with the Constitution of St. Martin. And it has in brackets, VERW, I think means for reason, but then the CP, I don't know if it's Central, I don't know what the CP means. I don't normally say it's Central Committee or whatever, but I do not know exactly what it means. So it's on page 13, and it's income piece 633. So for reason now.
Commission petition.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, MP. George Panderflat. And also, again, just to be clear, on the last page, so page 32, you will find, the members of parliament will find the list of abbreviations as well. Yeah, no problem. If there are no other comments with regards to the list of incoming documents, then we can approve this list, and I close this agenda point. Agenda point 1 is approved. We go over to agenda point 2, approval of the credentials of Mr. William V. Marling, former MP and also former chairperson of Parliament, Dr. Rodolph E. Samuel, resigned effective September the 2nd, 2013. His letter of resignation, according to Article 54 of the Constitution and the Article 110 of the Electoral Ordinance, was submitted to the President of Parliament on September 2nd, 2013. According to the Article 120 of the Electoral Ordinance, so-called the Kisford Ordering, the President notified the government and the President of the main voting bureau of the resignation. This was done on the same day, September the 2nd, 2013. On Wednesday, September the 4th, Parliament received email and faxed letter from the President of the main voting bureau stating that Mr. William V. Marling accepted his election as Member of Parliament. And that is listed as incoming document number 875-1213. On the same day, September the 4th, Parliament received from Mr. William V. Marling his credentials and a letter which is part of the package stating the reference to the public function that he may or may not have, meaning complying with the requirements of the law under that regulation. These documents are prescribed by Article 105 and 115, paragraph 4, and Article 107, paragraph 1 and 2 of the Electoral Ordinance. And in the case of Mr. William V. Marling, the exception of Article 107, paragraph 2nd is applicable. So no extract from the census office was necessary because because Mr. William Marling has been a member of Parliament before. There are other articles, I'll just mention the articles and not what it states. Other articles that are applicable are Article 54 of the Constitution, Article 108 of the Electoral Ordinance, and Article 2 of the Rules of Order, Article 3 of the Rules of Order, and Article 4 of the Rules of Order. I will go over to, in accordance with Article 4 of the Rules of Order, I'll have to establish a committee in order for the credentials to be perused by Parliament. As a member of that committee, I would like to appoint MP Louis Levest, who also, since I mentioned your name as first, who also will be the chairperson or the president of that committee, MP Sylvia Olivachi-Myers, and MP Roy Marling. I now ask the clerk to hand over the credentials and pertaining documents to the committee for the committee to verify. And while that is being done, this meeting remains open. The meeting is still open and public. MP Laveis, Chairman of the committee.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, the committee has verified the credentials and all the documents are in accordance to what the law prescribes and are in order. We advise for Parliament to approve the credentials of Mr. William V. Marlin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman of the Credential and Verification Committee. The committee is herewith dismissed. Thank you. Members of Parliament, the committee has proposed to approve the credentials of Mr. William V. Marlin. Does Parliament agree with this proposal? No, we do not. Thank you very much. Now that Parliament has agreed to approve the credentials of Mr. William V. Marlin, I will, in accordance with Article 122, Paragraph 1, subletter A, B, and C of the Electoral Ordinance, notify immediately the Governor, the President of the Main Voting Bureau, and the Member of Parliament-elect. I take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. William Victor Marlin with his admittance as Member of Parliament. And as soon as he is sworn in by the Governor, he will take his place in our midst again as Member of Parliament. Congratulations. Can I give the floor to anyone who wants to say a few words? Nodig? Good. Then this agenda point, thank you very much, is also approved and closed. Agenda point closed. We go over to agenda point 3, installation and composition of the Standing and Ad hoc Committee of Parliament. By letter of June 27, 2013, the faction leaders were requested to submit the desired composition of the Standing and special committees of Parliament for their faction to the Secretary General of Parliament. And based on the received proposals, an advice was made. In the Central Committee meeting of September 11th, 2013, the composition of the standing and ad hoc committees of Parliament was discussed and the advice was approved. The advice received is now being handled in this public meeting. Any member who wishes to take the floor on this agenda point? No member? Then this agenda point is also approved as proposed. Agenda point closed. We go over to agenda point 4, the last agenda point for this afternoon. Installation and composition of the committees of the Latin American Parliament. Here also by letter of June the 27th, 2013, outgoing letter number 496, 1213, the faction leaders were requested to submit the desired composition of the committees of Latin America and Parliament, Parlatino, for their faction to the Secretary General of Parliament. Based on the received proposals, again, an advice was made. In the Central Committee meeting of September the 11th, 2013, the composition of the standing and ad hoc committees was discussed of the Parliament of Latin America, and the advice was approved. This advice is now being handled in this public meeting. To whom can I give the floor?
No, I was going to say something, but don't worry.
Well, we have inspects list. Thank you very much. No comments on this last agenda point. Then this agenda point as well has been approved as proposed by the Central Committee. And I thank you very much for your presence and for your participation. This meeting, this public meeting, is herewith closed. Thank you.